Welcome to the Nate Gratian Show, where we talk all things personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining me here today. The date is the 24th of September 2022, and we have a weekly report from our eToro portfolio and our investments and what we've been doing there. So let's dig in. It's been a big week. It's been a rough week. There's been a lot happen and not a lot happen at the same time. And so not too much exciting stuff to report on this week. Our portfolio took a hit of 5.72%. Not the worst week we've had, but by no means the best week we've had. And the markets have taken a big hit. The Dow Jones closed for its worst at its lowest point of the year. We thought we may not see those June lows again, but we have seen them and surpassed them in the Dow Jones. And so things have started to take a leg lower given what's happened this week. So let's take a look at what happened this week, and then we'll come back a bit into our portfolio. There's two big things that happened, then two that weren't so much reported on. But the first big thing that happened was the US Fed, the Reserve Bank there, raised rates by 75 basis points, which is another big rate rise. That the market was expecting, but it was expecting the 75 basis points, as I've mentioned on other platforms and on eToro and stuff. But what it wasn't expecting was the negative forward look of the Fed. So Jay Powell said that looking forward, they will continue to raise rates, they'll continue to do what they need to do, and they'll hold the rates high until inflation comes down. That is not what the market was expecting. That is not what the market was wanting to hear. And so that really sent things lower middle of the week. Then we had Putin militarizing 300,000 people and wanting to send them to the battle with Ukraine. So the conflict in Europe is intensifying. That hasn't helped things either. And so while that necessarily that was reported on, but not so much in the financial sector, it was mentioned. But it's having an impact on the markets and just on that continued conflict, and then the escalation and threat also of a nuclear attack. Two things that weren't reported on too much, and that but all has an impact that kind of, if we look under the hood a little bit. It wasn't just the Fed that raised rates this week, but there were 17 other central banks around the world that raised rates this week. So there were 17 other central banks that raised rates this week. And then the UK Prime Minister Liz Truss, she's wanting to, along with the Parliament, the UK Parliament and stuff, wanting to provide a stimulus package that could and most likely will be inflationary, because this is part of the reason we have inflation, is because of all the money that was injected into economies around the world throughout the pandemic. And so that's what they're looking at doing. So we'll see what happens there. As mentioned, our portfolio took a hit this week of 5.72% with everything that went on. Rough for us, but as I look forward, I'm still positive, and I'll share why in a moment, and how you can be positive as well when you look at the stock market. We did receive some dividends this week from our holdings in things like SPHD, VTI, and some of our other holdings. Will be receiving some more dividends next week as we go into the final week of September. I will be glad. September's known as a weak period of the year, and I always like to see the end of September when it comes to investing, anyways, when it comes to the stock market. We deposited funds into our account on Wednesday, into our eToro account. These funds equal just shy of 2% of our overall portfolio, and we invested these funds on Friday into our account as usual, with a small portion going into VOO. This is Vanguard. This is VOO, Vanguard's ETF that tracks the S&P 500. A small portion went into there. That's where we invest our kids' college fund. And then the remainder went into VTI as planned, which is part of our market category in our portfolio. And it is Vanguard's ETF that tracks the entire US stock market. I actually did a short on it on YouTube talking about it, and then I put it up on Instagram Reels as well. VTI is a great investment and a great foundation to have in your portfolio. If you don't have that already, you should be looking to add that and have it as a good portion of your portfolio. It's about 35% of our total portfolio. Looking forward, I do remain positive, and I'm still positive. I am a long-term investor, and that is people that invest with me, they're long-term investors as well. And so while this year is painful and this time is painful, if you zoom out and look 2 to 5 years in advance ahead, things will be okay. It'll be all right. I want you to know I'm not saying that it will take 2 to 5 years to rebound from this and to regain losses from this year. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that in 2 to 5 years, weeks like this, you'll barely remember. They'll be a thing of the past. And so in that time frame, you won't remember weeks like this. I know it seems painful right now, I know it seems difficult right now, but this is the time to keep investing, keep going, and stay focused. These are some of the best times to put money at work, even though it may seem crazy. The market may go a little bit lower, it may not. Nobody knows exactly what it's going to do, but these times like this, where it's over 20% down, are great times of putting funds to work and money to work for the long term. Because imagine this: if it's down 20% now, at some stage when it's up 20%, the money you've put to work now will be up 40%. That's how this all works, and that's the power of investing, and just investing regularly, consistently, having funds that you can put to work. Thanks for joining me here today. If you want to find more episodes, you can on my website, ngration.com, or just wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. You can find more episodes there. If you have a question that you'd like on a podcast episode or a topic you'd like discussed, send it across to me on my website, fill out the little form there, or you can contact me on Instagram at NateGration. On Instagram and YouTube, you'll also find shorts or reels where I give 1-minute updates about the market throughout the week and what's happening in our portfolio and just different things like that. You'll find that kind of stuff and some investment tips and things like that. But thanks for joining me here today. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next episode.